Hello friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixieland. My name is Amy, and I am an ordained minister, and we are in Bible study. We are in the NIV. We are in Deuteronomy chapter 28. And in true fashion for this channel, we read the whole chapter. It's just that it's almost 70 verses. So, let's jump in. Blessings for obedience. Now, remember, this is part of the Torah, and in the chapter before, we had curses from Mount Ebal. So now we're in blessings, for obedience. So, yay, the good parts, okay? If you fully obey the Lord your God and carefully follow all his commands I give you today, the Lord your God will set you high above all the nations of the earth. All these blessings will come upon you and accompany you if you obey the Lord your God. You will be blessed in the city and blessed in the country. The fruit of thy womb will be blessed, and the crops of your land and the young of your livestock, the calves of your herds, and the lambs of your flocks. Your baskets and your kneading troughs will be blessed. You will be blessed when you come in, and you will be blessed when you go out. This sounds fantastic. The Lord will grant that the enemies who rise up against you will be defeated before you. They will come at you from one direction, but flee from you in seven. Now notice that's how they're being attacked and not them going out and doing the attacking. Okay. Pretty specific there. The Lord will send a blessing on your barns and on everything you put your hand to. The Lord your God will bless you in the land he is giving you. The Lord will establish you as his holy people, as he promised you on oath, if you walk in his ways. Then all the peoples on the earth will see that you are called by the name of the Lord, and they will fear you. The Lord will grant you abundant prosperity in the fruit of your womb, the young of your livestock, and the crops of your ground, in the land he swore to your forefathers to give you. The Lord will open I almost want to say open up, but that's not actually what it says. The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouse of his bounty, to send rain on your land in season, and to bless all the work of your hands. So yeah, that's why I wanted to say open up the heavens, because that's what another euphemism for rain. Okay, that makes sense then. You will lend to many nations, but borrow from none. The Lord will make you the head, not the tail, if you pay attention to the commands of the Lord your God that I give you on this day and carefully follow them. You will always be at the top and never at the bottom. Do not turn aside from any of the commands I give you today, to the right or to the left, following other gods and serving them. So no serving other gods if you want this blessing. So it's only given by the living God. So okay. So of course, blessings for obedience is followed by curses for disobedience, because yin and yang, as always. However, if you do not obey the Lord your God and do not carefully follow all his commands and decrees I am giving you today, all these curses will come upon you and overtake you. You will be cursed in the city and cursed in the country. Your basket and your kneading troughs will be cursed. The fruit of your womb will be cursed. The crops of your land and the calves of your herds and the lambs of your flocks. You will be cursed when you come in and cursed when you go out. The Lord will send on you curses, confusion, and rebuke, and everything you put your hand to, until you are destroyed and come to a sudden ruin because of the evil you have done in forsaking him. Wow. Hebrew. Me. Oh, I see. And forsaking me instead of forsaking him. Like, who's doing the speaking, right? The Lord will plague you with diseases until he destroys you from the land you are entering to possess. The Lord will strike you with wasting disease, with fever and inflammation, with scorching heat and drought, with blight and mildew, which will plague you until you perish. Wow. The sky over your head will be bronze, the ground beneath you iron, so like that, so dry that the earth is cracking dry. That. The Lord will turn the rain of your country into dust and powder. It will come down from the skies until you are destroyed. The Lord will cause you to be defeated before your enemies. You will come at them from one direction, but flee from them from 7. So the reverse, yeah, okay. And you will become a thing of horror to all the kingdoms of earth. Your carcasses, wow, will be food for all the birds of the air and the beasts of the earth, and there will be no one to frighten them away. How sad. This is terrible. The Lord will afflict you with boils, with the boils of Egypt, and with tumors, festering sores, and the itch from which you cannot be cured. The itch for, oh my gosh. Ooh, that's terrible. The Lord will afflict you, with madness, blindness, and confusion of mind. I think maybe you're mad from itching, the itch that you can't ever get rid of. At midday, you will grope about like a blind man in the dark. You will be unsuccessful in everything you do. Day after day, you will be oppressed and robbed with no one to rescue you. This is so bad. You will be pledged to be married to a woman, but another will take her and ravish her. That's sad for her, too. You will build a house, but you will not live in it. You will plant a vineyard, but you will not even begin to enjoy its fruit. Your ox will be slaughtered before your eyes, but you will eat none of it. Your donkey will be forcibly taken from you, and will not be returned. That's like saying your car got repossessed. This is like a bad country song. Your sheep will be given to your enemies, and no one will rescue them. Your sons and daughters will be given to another nation. Now that's very sad because that doesn't bode well for them at all. And you will wear out your eyes watching for them day after day, powerless to lift a hand. That's like every parent's nightmare everywhere. Ooh. Well, at least every good parent anyway. A people that you do not know will eat what your land and labor produce, and you will have nothing but cruel oppression all your days. The sights you will see will drive you mad. The Lord will afflict your knees and legs with painful boils that cannot be cured, spreading from the soles of your feet to the top of your head. That's like Job. Oh boy, no thanks. The Lord will drive you and the king you set over you to a nation unknown to you or your fathers. There you will worship other gods, gods of wood and stone. You will become a thing of horror and an object of scorn and ridicule to all these nations where the Lord will drive you. Okay, so this sounds like some of the what goes on in the Assyrian and Babylonian dysphoria, which did happen. Those are factual. Like my DNA says so, for at least one of them. But more, other sources also say that. besides my DNA. Although, to me, my DNA is pretty conclusive. But it compares to the archaeological bones that are in the area. There's a special DNA system for that. So that's not a question for me. But there are historical sources from those nations that also confirm that. Verse 38. You will sow much seed in the field, but you will harvest little, because locusts will devour it. You will plant vineyards and cultivate them, but you will not drink the wine or gather the grapes, because worms will eat them. You will have olive trees throughout your country, but you will not use the oil, because the olives will drop off. You will have sons and daughters, but you will not keep them, because they will go into captivity again. That's terrible, because of what will happen to them. Swarms of locusts will take over your trees and the crops of your land. The alien who lives among you will rise above you higher and higher, and you will sink lower and lower. He will lend to you, but you will not lend to him. He will be the head, you will be the tail. All these curses will come upon you. They will pursue you and overtake you until you are destroyed, because you did not obey the Lord your God and observe commands and decrees he gave you. They will be a sign and a wonder to you and your descendants forever, because you did not serve the Lord your God joyfully and gladly in a time of prosperity. Therefore, in hunger and thirst, in nakedness and in dire poverty, you will serve the enemies the Lord sends you. He will put an iron yoke on your neck until he has destroyed you. The Lord will bring a nation against you from far away, from the ends of the earth, like an eagle swooping down, a nation whose language you will not understand, a fierce-looking nation without respect for the old or the pity of the young. They will devour the young of your livestock and the crops of your land until you are destroyed. They will leave you no grain, new wine or oil, nor any calves of your herd or lambs of your flock until you are ruined. They will lay siege to all the cities throughout your land until the high fortified walls in which you trust fall down. They will besiege all cities throughout the land the Lord your God is giving you. So this is Babylonian, because in the Assyrian, they didn't take Jerusalem. Specifically that area, the tribe of Judah's land, which is why we tend to think of why we use that interchangeably. Before a certain time period of history, there was only Israelites, and then there were Israelites and Jewish people, because they were from the tribe of Judah. And then eventually, when they bring them back, which we'll get into in future texts, this year, we'll get into that. When they bring them back together, they only allow them in the area that belonged to the tribe of Judah. Hence the name that comes in that play. But this does sound like that is exactly what he is predicting. Moses, because this would be Moses speaking. Send a nation from far away, okay. Verse 53. Because of the suffering that your enemy will inflict on you during the siege, you will eat the fruit of the womb, the flesh of your sons and daughters. Yeah, you heard that right. Eating children. The Lord your God has given you, your children, eating your Even the most gentle and sensitive man among you will have no compassion on his own brother or the wife he loves or his surviving children. He will not give to one of them any of the flesh of his children that he is eating. If it will be all he has left because of the suffering your enemy will inflict on you during the siege of all your cities. The most gentle and sensitive woman among you, so sensitive and gentle that she would not venture to touch the ground with the sole of her foot, will begrudge the husband she loves and her own son or daughter the afterbirth from her womb and the children she bears, for she intends to eat them secretly during the siege and in the distress that your enemy will inflict on you and your cities. This is very terrible. This is, I'm sorry for anybody in history that actually had the, because I mean, they did go through a siege. Let's just hope they didn't actually have to go through this specific. I mean, there are documents that do suggest, because it's repeatedly about not putting your children over the fire, that was a custom of one of the surrounding cultures. But eating your placenta is what's. If you do not carefully follow all the words of this law, which are written in this book, and you do not revere this glorious and awesome name, the Lord your God, the Lord will send fearful plagues on you and your descendants. Harsh and prolonged disasters and severe and lingering illnesses. He will bring at you all the diseases of Egypt that you dreaded, and they will cling to you. The Lord will also bring on you every kind of sickness and disaster not recorded in this book of law. Like, we don't want to limit God here. You can get creative with new things until you are destroyed. You who were as numerous as the stars in the sky will be left but few in number, because you did not obey the Lord your God. Just as it pleased the Lord to make you, you will prosper. Just as it pleased the Lord to make you prosper and increase in number, you will so will it please him to ruin and destroy you. You will be uprooted from the land you are entering to possess. Then the Lord will scatter you among all the nations, from one end of the earth to the other. There you will worship other gods, gods of wood and stone, which neither you. Sorry, there, I needed to take a quick drink of iced tea there. Okay. Gods of wood and stone, which neither you nor your fathers have known. Among those nations you will find no repose, no resting place for the sole of your foot. There the Lord will give you an anxious mind, eyes weary with longing, and a despairing heart. You will live in constant suspense, filled with dread both night and day, never sure of your life. In the morning you will say, if only it were evening, in the evening if only it were morning, because of the terror that will fill your hearts and the sights that your eyes will see. The Lord will send you back in ships to Egypt on a journey I said you should never make again. There you will offer yourself for sale to your enemies as male and female slaves, but no one will buy you. No one will buy you. Like, nobody will help you. So there is a bunch in there about before these sorts of raids are happening, when the war is coming, where they call to Egypt for aid and don't get any aid. So some of that goes on, which again we'll get to in future chapters. I know it was a long one, right? Yeah, I know. But that's how we get through it. One verse at a time. So until the next video, friends.